Hey guys, your friendly neighborhood natty here. My name is Matthew, and today's video is going to be a range report for the Ruger LCP-1. So for this range report, I brought 200 rounds of ammo. The idea was that it would be 100 of the American Eagle, Federal American Eagle 95 grain, and then 100 of the Fiocchi Target Max 95 grain. But it ended up being 50 of the Federal American Eagle, and then 150 of the Fiocchi Target Max. I only had one box of Federal American Eagle, so that was the ammo that I brought. Now the distance, it was kind of your typical combat range. 7 yards, 21 feet is where I shot at. And the target, I chose this one. It's got 6 targets, but I ended up only using 4 of them. So outside of the 200 rounds, I also brought 6 rounds of Hornady Critical Defense, because that's my fighting ammo. So basically I just want to make sure that either, the Federal American Eagle or the Fiocchi Target Max is generally hitting in the same spot as Hornady Critical Defense. So I'll give you guys a close-up here, but for target 1, very much sporadic, all over the place, but please consider that, I don't shoot very often, and this is the first 50 rounds, so there's a lot of jitters and stuff like that, getting used to it, stuff like that. So even though it's kind of sporadic, I would say it's generally okay. Now going to target 2, you're going to see that there's quite a large gap in the lower left corner. So basically a lot of shots are being kind of centered, focused in that area. I'm kind of curious if that's just, the ammo or me, because I've talked before being cross-eye dominant. I'm the opposite of Big Brother Natty, so, my left hand dominance, right eye dominance. He's left eye dominant, right hand dominant. Maybe that's why it's pulling lower left. Or it could be the ammo, I'm not 100% sure. Keep in mind, this is the 100 rounds of Fiocchi Target Max. And of course, target 1 was the Federal American Eagle. Now for target 3, it's also Fiocchi Target Max. This was 50 more rounds. So we're starting to see, I would say, a little bit more centered. And then of course, this is after 150 shots. So I've really calmed down, kind of just got, everything in order. So I'd say that that's probably what the real hit range is, or the hit accuracy point is, of the Fiocchi Target Max. And then last but not least, we have target number 4. That was 6 shots of the Hornady Critical Defense 90 grain. I do distinctly remember that the first 2 shots were that high right there. In fact, the second shot is right on top of it. And then I think shots 3 and 4 was that upper left flyer, and then the lower flyer. And then 5 and 6 were right there around that inner ring. So that was the results of of targets. In regards to performance of the firearm, it was generally flawless. I would say mostly flawless. The first thing I want to say is that, I have the regular 6-round magazine that comes with, with this gun. And then I also have the extended rip magazines. So the regular is 6 shots in the gun, and these are 7 shots. I tried to use these at the range, but it didn't work. It didn't work in the sense that it wouldn't chamber, almost like that the spring was compressed too much, and so it wouldn't allow it to chamber. So I can show you right here. Now, yes, there's some live rounds, maybe like the last 2 or 3. I don't have that many snap caps, but most of the snap caps are at the front. Please don't freak out. Okay, so basically when I put it in, right, and you try to charge the gun, I'm a strong dude. It's not gonna go, so something about the spring is not, it's not working. So I ended up just loading these to 6 instead of 7, their maximum capacity, and then they worked out fine. And going on with the rounds, I would say that, as I said, they were flawless. The American Eagles all went off no problem. The 100 rounds of Fiocchi Target Max went out with no problem, and I think even, the 50 rounds too. So 150 rounds went through the gun. Only round 151 there was a malfunction. It was a failure to eject. So the casing was still in the gun, and it was blocking, of course, putting in a new round. And that happened again 3 more times at shot 163, I believe it was. Let me see. Come on. Oh no. It failed to extract at round 151, 160, 173, and 190. So it happened 4 times. They were all with the Fiocchi target max, and it would be an 8% failure rate. Now, a couple things to keep in mind, you know, that is 150 rounds with the gun. The gun is probably incredibly dirty. You know, some ammo is more dirty than others, but you know, it could have just been that time, you know, that it was time to malfunction because it was too many rounds, things like that. I wouldn't look harshly at the Fiocchi target max because I remember my Smith bodyguard liked that, or it had no problem with it, you know. And again, it went through at least 100 and 150, right? Well, it went through 100. It went through 100 of Fiocchi target max and there was no problem. So if there's a problem now, you know, I don't think it's fair to be like, well, it's the ammo, you know. It already went through 100 of Fiocchi target max and it went through 50 of the Federal American Eagle. Of course, the critical defense was no problem. There were no other malfunctions in the gun. The only thing I would look at right now is considering is that the extended mag is the problem. You know, it wouldn't load 7 rounds. So of course I go home, I check it out, I see what's going on, and there's 2 ways that the spring, magazine spring, fits in the 7-round extended mag. It fits in one direction, it fits in one way, and it fits in another way. So it fits in the one right now. If you take it out, you flip it over and turn it around, it can fit that way too. And I did that on both of them, and it worked on this one. So this one can actually load 7 rounds, load from 7 rounds no problem. Granted, it's a little rough. It's very rough. It really doesn't want to, but you can get it to go, you know, and it went. You know, all I had to do was just change the magazine spring, take the magazine spring out, flip it over, turn it over, and that's it. And you know, that one works now. It didn't work on this one. I'm not sure why, but it didn't matter whether I did the first one or the second one. It wasn't going to load. So let me just prove that to you. I'll take it apart right now so you can see what I'm talking about. The way this comes out is a little bit confusing. It's a little bit confusing, but once I saw a video and I can kind of envision what it is I'm trying to do, it wasn't that bad. So what's going to happen here is on the magazine, you see this, yeah, kind of that slot right there. You're going to pull up on that slot and it's going to, let me do that first. Okay, so now it's sitting like this, right? What has to happen is that you're going to hold this down and then slide it off. But it's tricky because if you press on this, it wants to go back down again. So don't let it go down. But I'll try here. There we go. Okay, so hold on. It's going to zzz. Okay, hold on. But kind of just let that out slowly. There we go. All right, so remember, we know this way doesn't work, right? So if you take it out, okay, so this is how it is, right? So flip it over, turn it over. That's the other way it goes in, okay? We'll do that too. So you know way 1 doesn't work. We're gonna try way 2. All right, and it's the same thing, just how it, you know, how it came out. Now you want that, you see that, this thing? You want this on the outside, okay? Don't put this inside. No, keep this on the outside like this, okay? So let me try to somehow do this. All right, and we're gonna slide this back on. Can I get it on camera though? Oh, come on. Oh, perfect. Great. That that just popped in. Sometimes it doesn't usually do that, but I guess I got lucky. Okay. So, you know the first way didn't work, so we're gonna try it this way now. Those are the only 2 ways that the magazine spring can fit in the gun, right? So I'm gonna put in the It's 3 live rounds and then 4 snap caps. And I'm putting the 4 snap caps on top of each other so that the live rounds are at the bottom. And you're gonna see it's not gonna matter. So once again, you know, it's all set up, and it looks like it could have gone a little bit more. It went more than the other one, but it's still not enough. It's not enough to chamber. So clearly, something's wrong with the magazine spring. I did call Ruger and I asked them, oh, can you send me a new magazine spring, right? Because I already figured it out. It's just the magazine spring. The Ruger must have put it in wrong on this one, and for some reason, you know, it didn't matter which one on this one. It's not going to work, so I need a new magazine spring. And the lady asked for the serial number of the gun. She asked me for my address, and she said, okay, we'll send you out the new magazine. And I was like, whoa, you don't need to send the whole magazine. I already know what the problem is. It's the spring. You just need to send me a new spring. But she said that they don't send parts. They just send whole parts. So I don't, I mean, I guess that's their policy. I don't know why, because I mean, if I know what's wrong with it, okay, you give me a new magazine. What about this one? This is still broken. You know, is it spare parts? Yeah, except the magazine, that's not a spare part. But I mean, like, you know, like, what am I gonna do with this? But I don't know. I guess that's their policy. So they're gonna send that out, and that's great. That's fine. I guess I'll have 2 functioning extended round magazines, hopefully, for the Ruger LCP. So in conclusion, how was the range? Honestly, I liked it. It was a good range experience, you know. But I have to say that with the Smith Bodyguard, I like that gun better because it's a true double action, you know, a real one, not one of these identified as a double action. It's not, you know, but it's a good gun. I'm not going to say it's a bad gun at all. It's fine, you know. I have shot the LCP2 before, and like I said, I didn't like it because the trigger pull was too light. I shot this one. It's a little heavier, but honestly, still too light. So I'm just going to end up with the Smith Bodyguard. You know, I like that one better. The only other gun I'd also be interested in is the NAA Guardian. I want that gun too, but you can find it, but people don't sell it at a fair price. So I don't want to get it unless it's at a fair price. So yeah, I'll probably end up selling this gun along with the LCP2, and I'll just keep my Bodyguard as my main fighting gun until maybe I come across the NAA Guardian. But honestly, I think those 2 are the only competitors for a 380 fighting gun for me. So I will roll the shooting footage for you guys at the end of this video. I hope that it was helpful for you. You know, hope the information was helpful to you. You could get something from it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye now.
You learned martial arts! Martial arts, go!